welcome to another college basketball live stream here on YouTube at Sports Bonanza John and on Kick at Sports Kick John, ready for the Mid-American Conference Championship game between Toledo and Akron. NCAA tournament berth on the line. We will preview this game in just a moment. First of all, let's pray. Lord Jesus, thank you for this day. Thank you for looking over us, and please protect everyone involved in this game tonight, Lord, and please continue to look over us and do your will among us, Lord, as we ask and pray this in your name. Amen. Toledo and Akron to decide the MAC championship. Toledo coming in as the 4 seed, 19 and 14 on the season. Akron coming in as the 2 seed, 28 and 5 on the year. These two teams met just once in the regular season, Akron winning 91-81 over Toledo. Toledo looking to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 46 years. They have not been since 1980. Akron been a regular fixture out of the Mid-American Conference as they look to go back to the NCAA tournament once again. As we get ready and start this game here tonight between the Rockets and the Zips. Of course, the big story coming in, Miami of Ohio coming in this tournament undefeated, but they fell in the quarterfinal round to UMass. So they were out early, so we will see what happens with them tomorrow. There are the latest bracketology I saw has them playing in the first 4. They're getting in, but as an at-large team, but in the first 4 round. So we will find out here in less than 24 hours what the story is going to be with Miami of Ohio. Let's take a look at the lineups for this game. First, for the Rockets of Toledo, coming in 19 and 14. They finished 11 and 7 in Mid-American Conference play, good for the 4 seed. They line up this way. At 1 forward is number 7, Sean Craig, 6'7" senior out of Sylvania, Ohio. Craig on the season averaging 11.7 points per game for this Toledo team. In the middle for Toledo is number 25, Austin Parks, 6'10" junior out of St. Mary's, Ohio. Parks on the season averaging 10.6 points per game. This is a Toledo team that has 4 players averaging double figures. One guard, number 2, Leroy Blyden Jr., 6'1" freshman out of Detroit. Second leading scorer on this Toledo team, 16.3 points per game. Another guard for Toledo is number 3, Sonny Wilson, 6'1" junior out of Pontiac, Michigan. Wilson, the leading scorer on this Toledo team, 17.3 points per game. And the other guard for Toledo is number 5, Minor Strong, 6'3" sophomore out of Omaha, Nebraska. Strong on the season averages 5.2 points per contest for Toledo, who is coached by Todd Kowalczyk. Starting lineups are as follows for Akron, 28 and 5 on the season. They went 17 and 1 in Mid-American Conference play, the 2 seed. Akron will line up like this. At forward is number 0, Amani Lyle, 6'9" senior out of Columbus, Ohio. Lyle, second leading scorer on this Akron team, 14.5 points per game. At one guard for Akron is number 12, Eric Mahaffey, 6'6" freshman out of Cincinnati. Eric Mahaffey averaging 7.8 points per game. Another guard for Akron. Another forward for Akron is number 15, Bowen Hardman, 6'3" senior, also out of Cincinnati. Hardman on the season averaging 7.7 points per game. Another guard for Akron is number 21, Zach Halligan, 6'5" sophomore out of Uniontown, Ohio. Halligan averaging 2.7 points per game. And the other guard for Akron is number 5, Tavari Johnson, 6-foot senior out of LaGrange Park, Illinois. Leading scorer on this Akron team, 20.3 points per contest. Akron is led by head coach John Gross, trying to get the Zips back to the NCAA tournament. So again, the lineups are as follows for Toledo. Craig and Parks up front with the guards of Strong, Wilson, and Blyden. Akron goes with Lyles up front and the 4 guards of Mahaffey, Hardman, Halligan, and Johnson. Just about set to go in the MAC title game. Officiating crew for this MAC championship game, Alfred Smith, Chad Barlow, and John Floyd. Akron trying to get back to the NCAA tournament with 29 wins. Toledo looking to make the NCAA tournament for the first time in 46 years. 1980, Toledo's last appearance in the NCAA tournament. Of course, the question is, no matter who wins this game, will this be a 2-bid MAC conference this year? You know, Miami of Ohio sitting very, very nervous, as they have been since Thursday. Get you updated on a couple of other conference tournament scores before we get underway here. Big 12 championship game, 59-56. Arizona leads Houston. That game has just under 8 minutes to play. Big East championship games, St. John's 47-38 lead on UConn. Get you some other scores as the night goes on. But here we go. Crown a champion in the MAC here in a couple hours. Again, in the regular season matchup, back at the end of January, Akron was a 10-point winner over Toledo, 91-81. We are set to go here. Toledo trying to break that long NCAA tournament drought. "20 minutes on the clock. And the jump and the tip controlled by Toledo. We are underway in the MAC championship game. First possession of the ball game belongs to Toledo. And a quick three-pointer up and good to begin the scoring for the Rockets. Sean Craig with the three-pointer for Toledo. And now the first possession here for Akron. Here's Mahaffey with it. Now Amani Lyles. Lyles looking for help. Lyles with a great bounce pass inside and the layup for Zach Halligan off a great feed from Amani Lyles to start the scoring for Akron. 3-2. Drive at the other end is short. Rebound pulled down by the Zips. Halligan has it knocked out of bounds by Toledo. It will stay Akron ball. We already going to have a challenge here just over a minute into this game? Yes, we are. Toledo's challenging this out of bounds call just over a minute into the game. Well, if you use your challenge this early, you got to be pretty adamant that you're right. If Toledo would not win this challenge, they cannot challenge the rest of this game. And the call is indeed overturned. It will be Toledo ball. So a good early challenge by Coach Kowalczyk, and Toledo's going to get a layup inside. And the Rockets lead at 5-2. At the other end, here's Mahaffey. Back out to Lyles on the outside. Lyles with the handoff now to Hardman. And the shot up for three is good. Bowen Hardman with a three to tie the game at 5. Toledo with it here on the outside. Dangerous pass now. Back out near the midcourt stripe. And now driving inside the paint, pulling up. Jumper's too strong. Rebound pulled down by Lyles of the Zips. Just over 2 minutes in this first half. Bounce pass there, taken away and stolen by Toledo. Back the other way come the Rockets. Three-pointer is blocked. Rebound pulled down by Akron. Lyles gets inside, and Lyles also took one step too many and is called for traveling. Monty Lyles named to the first team All-Mid-American Conference this year. Toledo will bring it up across the mid-court stripe. Nice bounce pass inside, and the layup is good by Austin Parks. Assist for Leroy Blyden there, and it's 7-5 Toledo. And now another three on the way for Akron. That's no good. Rebound pulled down by Sonny Wilson. Wilson has it now for Toledo. Blyden with it. Blyden out for a three-pointer. That is good from Sean Craig. He's got 2 threes early for Toledo, and the Rockets have an early 5-point lead. Sean Craig had a double-double for Toledo in their semifinal win over UMass. At the other end, a three-pointer is answered by Akron with Bowen Hardman. That's his second three. 10-8. So it looks like we may be in for a shootout tonight. Pass inside here, right-hand layup. That's another block for Akron. And now we have, what do we have? Foul on the Zips, it looks like. It's going to be a foul on Akron. That's going to go against Shama Scott. And Toledo will inbound. Austin Parks with it. Off now to Sonny Wilson. Wilson draws a double team in a little bit of trouble and is able to get rid of it. And now a three-pointer on the way is too strong. Toledo's going to get the offensive rebound, however. And now the kick out. Fresh 20 for the Rockets. Off-balance jumper is good. 12-8 Toledo. Leroy Blyden with that basket. At the other end, great feed inside by Akron, but great defense for Toledo. And Akron will have to reset. Now they get an open three in the corner that is short. Akron will be able to get the offensive rebound, however. Lyles. And here's the three-pointer on the way, around and out. Rebound this time pulled down by Sonny Wilson of Toledo. Spin move inside, out for an open three-pointer that is good. Sean Craig's third three here in the first half. And Akron turns it over. Ahead of Lord, layup is good. And a quick start for Toledo here in this MAC championship game. 17-8. Toledo fans on their feet in Cleveland. Tavari Johnson gets in the paint. His shot's no good. Rebound pulled down by Austin Parks. Bringing it up across the timeline is Blyden. Blyden off to Parks. Parks on the outside, off now to Sonny Wilson. Wilson gets inside the paint. His runner rolls out. Rebound pulled down by Akron. Back come the Zips. Long three-pointer off the back, no good. And we're going to have a foul on Toledo on the rebound, which will bring us to our first timeout. Nearly 6 minutes in, 14:07 left in the first half. Mid-American Conference Championship game. Quick start for the Rockets. They're up 9 on Akron. 17-8. So we've had more tickets punched today. More are coming. Howard took the MEAC earlier today with a 70-63 win over North Carolina Central. That's Howard's third NCAA tournament appearance now in the last 4 years. So the Bison of Howard heading back to the tournament. And coming up here later on, championship game in the Big West, Hawaii and UC Irvine. And we will also have the final conference tournament game in the WAC. Of course, the WAC will be no more after this year. Cal Baptist and Utah Valley in that championship game in the WAC. SWAC championship game is underway. Prairie View leading 38-21 in the SWAC championship game. Prairie View, the 8th seed in that tournament. Utah State leading San Diego State 65-56. 3.5 minutes to go in the Mountain West title game. Both those teams are headed to the new Pac-12 next year. Arizona up 69-62 on Houston. Off the inbound here out of the timeout. A three-pointer's off the back rim. Akron's going to get the offensive rebound, however. And there's another three attempt. That one's short. Another offensive rebound for Akron. And now another three. This one is good. The third time's a charm on the three-point shooting. Shama Scott with that three for Akron, and it's 17-11 Toledo. Blyden. Now outside is Vanderjagt. Kyler Vanderjagt with it. Back to Blyden on the outside. Blyden looking. Blyden will pop a three-pointer and hit it. Leroy Blyden with a three. That gives him 5, and the lead back to 9 for Toledo, 20-11. Here's Scott on the outside for Akron. Scott with 10 on the shot clock. Too high on the pass, and it's taken away by Toledo. Scott tried to go inside with it, but the pass a little too high. And Akron knocks the ball away and will get a steal. Eric Mahaffey with it. And the reverse layup up and good by Shama Scott. He's got 5 for Akron, and it's 20-13. Toledo lead is 7. Toledo back the other way. Here's Vanderjagt getting cut off by a double team as he tries to drive inside. Now we'll back his way in. Turnaround jumper in the paint is good. Nice touch there for Kyler Vanderjagt, where his first 2 points. 22-13 Toledo. Zips with it here. And the turnaround jumper in the paint is up and good for Evan Mahaffey. That's his first 2 points, 22-15. Jalen Owinga has the ball for Toledo. And a dangerous pass. Blyden gets it underneath and a bank shot inside on the bucket for Sonny Wilson on a great pass from Leroy Blyden. Back and forth we go. Outside three-pointer for Akron. That's too strong. Off the back rim. Rebound Toledo. They've got a 2-on-1, and a pull-up three-pointer is good. Toledo raises the lead to 12, 27-15. Kyler Vanderjagt with that three-pointer. Toledo's hit 5 of their first 7 from beyond the arc. On the drive here is Akron, down a dozen, deep three-pointer. That's around and out. Rebound pulled down by Toledo. Akron, 11 of their 15 field goal attempts have been from three-point range. They've hit just 3 of them. Shot inside here for Toledo's no good. And the rebound pulled down by the Zips. They're going to slow it down here as they bring the ball up the floor. Pace has gotten a little bit hectic. Shama Scott, he'll pop a 3. That's no good. Akron now 3 of 12 from beyond the arc. Midway point, first half. Title game in the Mid-American Conference. Outside with it is Blyden. Blyden looking to drive. Now we'll dribble it off Akron. It will stay with Toledo. And that brings us to a timeout with 9:45 to play in the opening half. 27-15 Toledo over Akron. It is now a final. Utah State has just wrapped up the title in the Mountain West, 73-62. Utah State defeats San Diego State. So Utah State, the auto bid from the Mountain West. Arizona up 7 on Houston with a minute and a half to play in that one in the Big 12 final. St. John's up 56-45 on UConn. Just over 9 minutes to go. SWAC Tournament Championship, Prairie View at the half, 41-28 over Southern. Run down the full scoreboard for you coming up at halftime. Coming up here in just a little bit, championship game in Conference USA, Kennesaw State and Louisiana Tech. ACC championship game, Virginia Duke. Boy, what a fun one that's going to be. Top 2 seeds in the ACC. Here in this one, it's 27-15 Toledo. Toledo 11 for their first 18 from the floor. 61%, 5 of 7 from 3. Meanwhile, Akron 6 of 16 for 38%, just 3 of 12 from three-point range at 25%. Five more conference championship games tomorrow before we see who goes where in the selection show tomorrow night. Following the timeout, Toledo inbound here. And it's going to be a three-pointer. Not a good look that time. The shot's no good. Rebound pulled down by Akron. Lyles tries a three at the top of the key and buries it. Amani Lyles with his first 3 points. And it's a 27-18 lead for Toledo. 9:20 to go in the half. Bounce pass here for Vanderjagt. Vanderjagt now looks to drive and will in the paint, but gets cut off. Shot clock down to 4. Here comes the three-pointer. That's an air ball. Rebound pulled down by Akron. And then we have a foul on Toledo following the Akron rebound. Foul's going to go against Jalen Owinga. Under 9 to go, first half. Evan Mahaffey. Bounce pass inside here. 5 to shoot for Akron. Here's the drive inside off the glass and in. 5 straight for Akron. Now the timeout. Shama Scott with that jumper. He's got 7 for Akron off the bench. Here comes Toledo at the other end. And that'll be knocked out of bounds by Akron. It will stay Toledo ball. 7 on the shot clock. 8:07 remaining in the first half. John Gross having a discussion with one of the officials. Rockets get it in. Almost turn it over, and the layup is no good. That shot clock didn't reset. That didn't hit the rim. Akron comes out with it anyway. Akron a chance to get closer. Cross-court pass, and now the bounce pass inside. And now a deep three-pointer, top of the key, and it's good. Bowen Hardman with his third three of the half, and it's an 8-0 run for Akron as they're within 4, 27-23. At the other end, Toledo gets a dunk. The defense fell asleep under the basket, and Blyden got himself an easy slam. 29-23 Toledo. The drive at the other end with the right hand is too strong. Rebound pulled down by Toledo. And the drive inside, and that's going to be a travel. Second turnover for Toledo. We've got a timeout. Just over 7 minutes remaining in the opening half. Toledo's led throughout this first half. They're up a half dozen now, 29-23. Big 12 championship. Houston has battled back to pull within 3 of Arizona. 28 seconds remaining. So Houston trying for a late comeback there in that one against Arizona. So following the timeout here, Toledo up by 6. Akron ball out of the timeout as they bring it up across the midcourt stripe. Evan Mahaffey on the outside. And now a three-pointer, that's a little bit of a rush shot, and it's no good off the hands of Bowen Hardman. And the rebound pulled down by Toledo. At the other end, there's a 3 for Toledo to extend the lead back to 9. as Leroy Blyden with the three-pointer. He's now in double figures with 10 in the half. Akron trying to answer. They cannot. And coming down with the offensive rebound was Akron, but stepping out of bounds. And it will go back to Toledo. Good effort there by Sharon Young. Oh, and he's hobbling. Like he's favoring that. Like he's favoring that leg. So he's going to have to go to the bench to get looked at as Eric Mahaffey will come in to replace Sharon Young. Toledo ball across the midcourt stripe. Trying to extend to a double-digit lead in this game. Sonny Wilson with it on the outside for Toledo. Wilson. And now Wilson inside. Can't get the shot to go. It's rebounded by Akron as we hit 6 to play in the first half. Evan Mahaffey kicks it outside for a three-pointer. No good. That was almost banked in. Rebound pulled down by the Rockets. Sonny Wilson on the outside. Wilson gives it off now to Parks. Now the drive inside for Akron, 10 to shoot. Outside, open three. Got it! Minor Strong with the long-range three, and the Rockets are up a dozen, 35-23 over Akron. Amani Lyles has it for the Zips. Outside, open three, air ball. Akron pulls down the rebound, and will try again from the same corner. That's too strong. Rebound pulled down by Toledo. Blyden with it for Toledo. Blyden drives. Blyden kicks it out. Corner three. That's too strong. Akron pulls down the rebound. Well, that would have been huge for Toledo. That would have forced Akron to take a timeout, I think, had that dropped. Tavari Johnson with it for Akron. And now we've got a reach-in foul on the Rockets. It'll be just their third here of the first half. However, it's the second on Sean Craig. Off the inbound here comes another three for Akron. That's no good. Lyles will pull down the offensive rebound. And we've got a foul here against Toledo. I think they're going to get Parks on that one. That'll be his first, team fourth. Inbound here again. Akron's only been called for one foul this half. Toledo 4. Nice drive to the basket and a blocked shot, but the cleanup is good for Akron. Basket for Eric Mahaffey makes it 35-25. Sonny Wilson on the outside with it for Toledo. Wilson will now drive inside and pull up in the paint. That's a little too strong. Rebound pulled down by Akron. Eric Mahaffey going the distance, but can't get it to drop. Akron tries to get the offensive rebound, but it's Toledo out with it. And an open three in the corner. That's too strong. Rebound Akron. But Toledo knocks it away, however, knocks it out of bounds. It will be Akron ball with 3:29 to go first half. We hit a timeout. 35-25. Rockets lead the Zips. Here in the final of the Mid-American Conference, and it has gone final in the Big 12. Arizona is your Big 12 champs as they defeat Houston 79-74, the final in that one. St. John's looks like they're about to wrap up the Big East title. They lead 65-49, under 4.5 to go in that one. Still to come. Tipping off in about 5 minutes. ACC championship game, Virginia and Duke. Also about ready to tip off in Huntsville, Alabama. Kennesaw State and Louisiana Tech championship game in Conference USA. Hawaii UC Irvine championship game in the Big West. Coming up in about an hour and a half, and coming up just before midnight Eastern, Cal Baptist and Utah Valley, the WAC championship game and the final WAC championship game. Leroy Blyden leads the way for Toledo. He's got 10 points in this first half. Akron's being led by Bowen Hardman's 9 points. Akron has shot 23 pointers in this first half. 20 of the 29 shots have been from three-point range. Akron brings the ball up here out of the timeout. Nice bounce pass, and that's going to be a kick ball by Toledo. Shot clock will reset to 20. Looks like somebody was a little early with the confetti as it is falling already. So we have a little bit of a delay. I think this happened in the A10 a couple of years ago, too. Somebody a little bit premature with the confetti cannon. Huh. Still only the first half here, guys. Let's not jump the gun here. It's still falling. So we have a delay here as somebody launched the switch for the confetti a little quick. All right? I think we're ready now. So following the delay here, nope, or now, okay, there we go. Great inbound here for Akron. However, a great defensive play by Toledo to knock the ball away. That was going to be an easy layup, it looked like, but it will stay Akron ball. Inbound here. Shot clock down to 10 for Akron. Kicks it out to Lyles. Lyles over here to Tavari Johnson. Johnson with 3 on the shot clock over to Lyles. Lyles going to have to get a shot up here off the glass. That's too strong. Great offensive rebound for Akron and a layup underneath on a great pass to Amani Lyles. 35-27. Great hustle there by Akron to get the offensive rebound and then finding Lyles underneath. And we've got a foul on the outside here against Akron. That's just going to be their second team foul of the first half. So it's going to go, I believe, against Tavari Johnson. Inbound it comes here to Austin Parks. Parks drives. Parks with the alley-oop, but it was a little too high, and the pass is out of bounds over to Akron. Parks tried to find a Winga underneath for the alley-oop, but the pass a little bit too tall for him. Akron brings the ball up. We're under 2.5 here in the first half. Tavari Johnson with it. And Akron setting up the offense here. Shot clock at 10. Tavari Johnson tries a 3. That's a rounded out. Rebound pulled down by Toledo. Akron's definitely living and dying by the 3 here in the first half. Open 3 at the other end. Barely draws any iron. Rebound pulled down by the Zips. Tavari Johnson off to Lyles. Lyles thought about the 3. Will now drive inside, but lost the handle. And Toledo gets the steal. 2-on-1 break. Layup good. And the lead back to 10. 37-27. Here's Evan Mahaffey for Akron. He looks to drive, but gets double team, has to kick it back out. Bowen Hardman. Hardman has to kick it back out. 10 to shoot for Akron. Lyles with it. Tavari Johnson now. Johnson tries a 3. That's good for Tavari Johnson. He missed his first 5 shots, but finally gets one to drop. And it's 37-30. Toledo in front by 7 as we've hit the final minute of the first half. Blyden with the ball for Toledo. He'll drive inside and score it with the left hand. Blyden's got a dozen here in the first half. 39-30. Toledo at the other end. Long one, no. Rebound to Toledo. And they're going to slow it down here. There's about a 9.5 second difference shot clock, game clock, so Toledo can't quite run this out. $10 on the shot clock. 3-pointer in the corner. Good! That will push the lead to a dozen. Final 5 seconds, first half for Akron. Shama Scott tries a long 3, no good, and that's how the first half ends. And how about this? The Toledo Rockets lead Akron by a dozen at the half, 42-30. Toledo trying to break that long NCAA tournament drought, and they are 20 minutes away from doing just that. Toledo has not been in the NCAA tournament since 1980. It's a 46-year drought currently for the Rockets. They have a 42-30 halftime lead over number 2 seed Akron. So let's run down the college basketball scoreboard. Starting with the traditional 11 a.m. tip-off for the America East Championship game. The America East always tips off at 11 a.m. on the Saturday before Selection Sunday. And it is UMBC. We remember what they did in the tournament back in 2018. Well, they're going back there for the first time since. UMBC beats Vermont 74-59. UMBC headed back to the NCAA tournament. I don't think, remember, they were the first 16 seed to beat Virginia back in 2018. I don't think they're going to be a 16 this year, so I don't think we're going to be able to have quite that same result from UMBC. I'm thinking they're probably going to be more about a 14. But the Retrievers of UMBC heading back to the NCAA tournament. Semifinals in the Ivy League, and Yale once again is headed back to the Ivy League championship game. That they beat Cornell 88-76. Yale will face Penn for the Ivy League title. Penn in overtime defeated Harvard 62-60. So in the Ivy League title game tomorrow, it will be Penn and Yale. Semifinals in the Big Ten, Michigan. A three-pointer with less than a second left by Axel Lendeborg. And they beat Wisconsin 68-65, and they will take on Purdue. Purdue a 73-66 win over UCLA. So Michigan and Purdue will square off for the Big Ten title tomorrow. Semifinals in the SEC, Vanderbilt just rolled over the defending champion and number 1 seed Florida, 91-74. The final score. Vanderbilt headed to the SEC championship game against Arkansas, who fought off a pesky Ole Miss team. Boy, what a run Ole Miss had in the SEC tournament, but it comes to an end today as Arkansas wins in overtime, 93-90. So Vanderbilt and Arkansas will square off for the SEC title tomorrow. MEAC final, Howard 70-63 over North Carolina Central. Howard headed back to the NCAA tournament for the third time in 4 years. Semifinals in the A10, a little bit of a controversial finish between Dayton and St. Louis. Dayton knocks out the number 1 seed St. Louis 70-69. Amel Latang, the game-winning layup with a second to go. Dayton players came off the bench following that layup while the game was still going. The game was not over when Dayton players came off the bench. A lot of people thinking there should have been a technical foul assessed there. You can make your own judgment. You can look at the replay if you haven't seen it, and you can make your own judgment. But Dayton is headed to the A10 championship game. They will take on VCU, a 77-64 win over St. Joseph. So Dayton, if you're a bubble team, you are probably hoping VCU wins that game tomorrow because VCU's probably in anyway. If you're a bubble team, you are hoping Dayton does not win that game tomorrow because that's going to be a bid stealer for somebody that's on the bubble if Dayton wins the A10. Semifinals in the American, South Florida, the top seed rolled Charlotte 86-64. South Florida will face Wichita State in the championship game. Wichita State dispatched Tulsa 81-68. So the top 2 teams in the American Conference, Wichita State and South Florida, will square off for the American Championship. American went to that step ladder format this year to basically benefit the regular season, however you finish in the regular season. So this was South Florida and Wichita State's first games today. So they will meet in the American Championship game. Mountain West title goes to Utah State, 73-62. They defeat San Diego State. San Diego State, a bubble team. They're one of these teams that is going to have to be rooting for VCU tomorrow. Arizona takes the Big 12 79-74 over Houston. Both those teams probably looking at number one seeds anyway. And a game that has just gone final. St. John's takes the Big East title as they beat UConn by 20 today, 72-52 in the Big East title game. Coming up here in just a bit in the Big West, I say just a bit, about a little over an hour and a half. Hawaii and UC Irvine for the Big West Championship. And coming up tonight, midnight Eastern time, the last WAC championship game, Cal Baptist and Utah Valley. The WAC is no more after this year. So this will be the final WAC championship game. They're underway in the ACC title game. Virginia leads Duke 9-6, 4 minutes into that one. And Prairie View is up 21 on Southern, 56-35 in the SWAC championship. 13 minutes left in that one. And just underway in the Conference USA championship game, Kennesaw State and Louisiana Tech tied up early on at 6 apiece. So while we have some extra time here at the half, want to show you the updated bracketology. Now, this was, I say updated, this was as of this morning. This has changed a little bit. So I do want to show you here on this bracketology. If you look there on the right-hand side in the West region, you will see that Miami of Ohio is projected in as an 11 seed to face BYU. Now, again, this was from this morning. This has changed a little bit because this is the CBS Sports bracketology. That's the one I usually go with. Since this was put out this morning, they have now dropped Miami of Ohio to the last four in. So they would be in the first four round. They have the first four here with Santa Clara, SMU, Missouri, and VCU as last four in. I think I have since seen VCU has gotten bumped out of the last four in, which means to me they're probably safely in the field now. And then if you also look here in the East region, they have projected Akron as a 12 seed in that old 12-5 game, taking on St. John's. Now, again, that's pending Akron. This is assuming Akron gets the auto bid out of the MAC, but Akron's in trouble here in the MAC title game, down 12 at the half. But that is the latest bracket. They've got Duke, the number one seed in the East. I'm assuming that would be number one overall seed as well. Florida, the number one seed in the South. We'll see if they stay a number one. Arizona, number one seed in the West, and Michigan, the number one seed in the Midwest. So that is the updated bracketology here. St. John's winning the Big East. That's probably going to move them up from a 5 to at least the 4 line. That may even bump them up to the 3 line. We'll see how that does with St. John's. And I'm sorry, the two teams that are ranked way too high seed-wise on this, Kansas a 4. Kansas, that is way too high for Kansas. And if this game would pan out, that is a very, very dangerous first-round game for Kansas against High Point. Kansas, to me, was seeded way too high at number 4. And North Carolina, okay, well, I was going to say North Carolina. They dropped them to 6. Last I saw, they were a 4. I think they were a 4. Last bracketology I saw a couple days ago. So they have dropped North Carolina to a 6. That would also be a dangerous first-round game there, South Florida, if that ends up panning out. I just wanted to show you there the latest bracketology that they have. And here at the half in the MAC championship game, Akron trails Toledo 42-30. take a look at some of the first half stats from this game. Toledo, 17 of 32 from the floor, 53%. They were 8 of 15 from three-point range, also 53%. Akron in that first half shot just 12 of 35 for 34%. 6 of 24 from three at 25%. 24 three-point shots in the first half shot by Akron. Neither team went to the free throw line in the first half. We only had 6 combined free throws in that first half. Rebound edge for Akron, 20-16. Akron turned it over 6 times in the first half. Toledo turned it over 3 times. Individual scoring in the first half, Toledo put 1 in double figures. Leroy Blyden leading the way with 12. 9 points out of Sean Craig, 6 out of Sonny Wilson, 5 points out of Kyler Vanderjagt, 4 out of Austin Parks, 3 apiece from Minor Strong and Jalen Owinga to wrap up the scoring in the first half for Toledo. For Akron, they were led by Bowen Hardman's 9 points in the first half, 7 out of Shama Scott, 5 points out of Amani Lyles, 3 out of Tavari Johnson, 2 points apiece from Zach Halligan, Evan Mahaffey, and Eric Mahaffey to wrap up the scoring in the first half for Akron as they trail this game 42-30. Toledo 20 minutes away from snapping their 46-year NCAA tournament drought as they look to finish this off. I want to update you tomorrow on my live stream page. Don't know if I'm going to be on for a game in the afternoon or not, but I will for sure be on right before the selection show goes on live tomorrow night at 6 o'clock Eastern time. Probably going to jump on here about 5:50 Eastern time or so. Get you ready for the selection show. Be on with you while the selections are coming in. Going to be with you most of the night tomorrow night. I'm going to be with you for the men's selection show at 6 Eastern time. Then I will be on at 8 Eastern time with the selection of the women's pairings on the women's selection show. And then I will also be on to wrap it up for the NIT selection show tomorrow night. I believe that's at 9:30 tomorrow night. So going to be with you most of the night on the live stream tomorrow for the NCAA men's and women's tournament pairings and the NIT pairing. So just about ready to start the second half here. Does Akron have a comeback in them? We have an update for you from the women's side. Let's run down actually some of the women's scores before we get ready for the second half. A couple of tickets punched on the women's side. Miami of Ohio women punched their ticket to the NCAA tournament. They beat Toledo 68-58 in the MAC championship game. Southern 73-56 over Alabama State in the SWAC final. Cal Baptist 74-58 over Abilene Christian in the WAC. Missouri Valley semifinals. Top seed Murray State defeated Northern Iowa 72-59. And the shocker, what's going on in the Missouri Valley on the women's side, Evansville. It came in as I believe they were the 10 seed. They were the 10 seed. Evansville came into the Missouri Valley Women's Tournament with a 7-24 record. They have just won their third game in 3 days. They beat Illinois State in overtime, 75-70. So Evansville is into the Missouri Valley Championship game against Murray State. Evansville will be playing for an NCAA tournament bid tomorrow with a 10-24 record. They did this whenever I was following the Missouri Valley and lived in the area. They did this once before a few years back. They had an absolute crappy record, ran off 4 in 4 days, and got in the NCAA tournament and got trounced by, I don't remember who it was now, and they're looking to do the same thing again. But hey, congratulations to Evansville making the Missouri Valley final. Underway, second half. Akron with the ball. And a shot under the basket and 2 points to begin the second half for Akron. That was Amani Lyles with that layup, 42-32. Both teams going with their original starting 5 here to start the second half. The drive inside, a double team, and having to kick it out. Layup, no, but a foul is called, and we will have our first 2 free throws of this game coming up here for Toledo, as it will be Sean Craig heading to the free throw line. First free throw by Craig is good. One more free throw coming for Craig. Short on the second. Akron down 11. And Akron just threw the ball out of bounds into the first row. Turnover for the Zips. Toledo looks for their largest lead of the game this trip. And now the drive inside and the kick out. Instead, it's a steal for Akron. Good defense that time for the Zips, forcing a turnover. Now Shama Scott, who, correction, their original starting 5 were not on the floor to start the second half for Akron, and Scott's out there. Scott bounce pass, almost taken away by Toledo. Akron will inbound with 10 on the shot clock. Inbound, here's a three-pointer. That's way short. Akron pulls down the offensive rebound, however. Evan Mahaffey will put it up. That's short with the right hand. This time, the rebound pulled down by Toledo. Blyden with the ball. Blyden drives, kicks it out for a wide open 3 in the corner that missed strong from Sonny Wilson. Rebound pulled down by Akron. Here's Mahaffey. Off now to Tavari Johnson. Johnson gets inside. Off the glass, counted and one for Tavari Johnson. He'll have a chance for a three-point play as Akron will get their first trip to the line. Foul is charged on Austin Parks. He picks up his second. Tavari Johnson trying to complete the three-point play for Akron, but he does not. 43-34. Rockets up 9, just over 2 minutes old. Second half. Well, and whoa, that's going to back way out. That's a backcourt violation. Coach Kowalczyk not happy with his team on that one. Looked like just some miscommunication or unconcentration or something. Akron trying to get this down to 7 or 6 with a 3. Lyles on the outside. And now the drive inside. Off the glass and in. And it's down to a 7-point game, 43-36. Knew the Zips weren't going to go away quietly. This is a 28-win ball club. Nice bounce pass inside, and Toledo gets a layup from Minor Strong. 45-36. Toledo lead back to 9. Runner at the other end too strong. Tip won't go. Rebound pulled down by Toledo. Back come the Rockets. Three-pointer on the way. Good. And the lead back to 12. Just like that. Leroy Blyden now with 15. Shot under the basket will go for Akron for the answer. 48-38. Sonny Wilson with the ball. Wilson. Off now to Minor Strong. Strong gets inside. Can't get it to go. But he is fouled, and Minor Strong will shoot 2 free throws. First of 2 free throws. Good. Second one by Strong, also good. He's now got 7. 50-38. Toledo's lead back to 12. This is what it was at halftime. Amarni Lyles with it. And a great pass inside. And the easy layup for Akron. 50-40. Sonny Wilson on the outside has it for Toledo. Off now to Sean Craig. Back over to Wilson. Wilson looking to set up something, goes to Parks. Parks draws a double team and throws it into the front row. Turnover for Toledo. Akron put a little bit of a double team there on Parks and tried to find a man on the other side of the court, but the only people close to that one were the fans sitting on the front row. Timeout. 50-40. Toledo up 10. Virginia still leads Duke by 1, 23-22. Just over 8 to play first half. Louisiana Tech up 1 on Kennesaw State. Just past the midway point in the first half. Conference USA Championship. Prairie View leading Southern 61-47 in the SWAC Championship. 7 minutes to go. $50-40 here. Toledo in front of Akron. Toledo has led throughout this game. So out of the timeout, it's going to be Akron ball. Tavari Johnson will bring it up across the timeline for Akron. Shama Scott now with it. Scott drives. Scott missed it, but he got bumped, and he will shoot 2 free throws. First free throw, no good. Missed them both. Toledo with the rebound. We can't be missing free throws when you're trying to come back. And we've got a foul underneath before the dunk here by Toledo. Third foul of the half against Akron. Rockets will inbound under the basket. Blyden drives. Blyden has it blocked. Akron comes out with the ball. It's a 3-on-2 alley-oop, and the layup is good. Let's see if that'll be a momentum shifter right there for Akron. 50-42. Akron fans rise to their feet in Cleveland. Here's the drive by Wilson. Up to a wide open jumper that goes down. Jalen Owinga now with 5. At the other end, Akron answers. Amani Lyles with the basket, 52-44. Corner three-pointer. That hit the top of the backboard. That thing was nowhere even close. Back comes Akron as we are about to hit the 14-minute mark, second half. Driving layup. Right hand is good, but it's not going to count, I don't think. Have a foul before the shot. Foul's on Kyler Vanderjagt. That's his first. Tavari Johnson going to get a breather here for Akron as the Zips bring it in. Ball here is Bowen Hardman. And Scott tries to move inside and knocked out of bounds by Toledo. Just under 5 on the shot clock for Akron. Well, that shot clock didn't reset. Now having to launch a 3, and it's good. Sharon Young with a 3-pointer, and this is a 5-point game, 52-47. As close as this game has been in quite a while. Sonny Wilson with the ball for Toledo. Spins inside. Wilson gives it out now, and Toledo will reset. And now the drive inside. Layup, no! Rebound pulled down by Akron's Mahaffey. Akron can make this a one-score game with a basket. Mahaffey kicks it outside now to Shama Scott. Scott in trouble and wisely takes a timeout here as he got stuck there in a double team. So Scott takes the Akron timeout to save possession. Just under 13 minutes to play. Toledo up 5. Toledo shooting now at 51%. Akron at 42%. Toledo 50% from three-point range. Akron 27%. Toledo's 3 of 4 at the free throw line. Akron 0 for 3. 8 rebound edge for the Zips, 28-20. So Akron out of the timeout will have possession. Inbound comes in here to Mahaffey. Evan Mahaffey on the drive. Layup. Good. 3-point game. Evan Mahaffey with 4 points. 52-49. Toledo with the ball. Akron with all the momentum right now. Here's Sonny Wilson. And he gets fouled on the drive inside. Team foul number 4 on the Zips here in the second half. And Wilson will inbound for Toledo under the basket. Wilson inbounds it into the backcourt. And Akron back there. And it goes out of bounds. Akron basketball. Akron fans as vocal as they have been all night long. Inbound here. And now the drive reverse layup is good. It's a 1-point game. Sharon Young with the basket. 52-51. Blyden with the ball on the outside for Toledo. Pass inside to Parks, who draws a triple team, sends it out for a 3. That's way off the mark. Rebound, Akron. They look for their first lead of the game. with 11:59 to play. 52-51. How the tide has turned here in the second half. Minute 7 to go in the SWAC championship. Prairie View 68-62 lead on Southern. Kennesaw State up 2 on Louisiana Tech, 25-23. 3.5 left first half there. Duke's taking the lead on Virginia, 31-29. Just over 3 minutes to go, first half ACC title game. Akron has never led in this game. They have a chance to right here. Akron with the inbound. Scott gets cut off, turnaround jumper for the lead for the first time today for Akron. 53-52. 11-0 run for the Zips. And now Toledo turns it over and then commits a foul. That will be the 6th-team foul on Toledo, so each Toledo foul from here on out will be a 1-and-1 for Akron. Or at least free throws for Akron. Akron brings it up across the timeline. Being very patient this offensive possession. Here's a three. Good! Eric Mahaffey with a three. 56-52 Akron. Run now 14-0 for the Zips. Toledo needs a basket badly. And he'll try a three-pointer. That's off the back rim. No. Rebound pulled down by Akron. Scott sends it outside to Mahaffey. Evan Mahaffey drives. Evan Mahaffey gives it off for a three. That was blocked, I think. But Akron gets the loose ball And the drive inside and a foul underneath the basket. Shot does not go by Eric Mahaffey, but he will shoot two. Mahaffey missed the first free throw, hits the second. 57-52. Akron up 5. Toledo brings the ball up here. Blyden drives high off the glass and in for Leroy Blyden, and that stops the 15-0 Akron run. 57-54. 17 now for Blyden. Here's Scott. Scott's pull-up jumper, round and out. Rebound to Toledo. Well, that thing was 3/4 of the way down. And now the shot inside, no good, but we're going to have a foul. I think they're going to get Scott on the foul for Akron. Two free throws coming here for Sonny Wilson. First free throw up. No good. Haven't been many free throw attempts tonight for either team, but neither team's been real successful there when they have gotten there. Second one is good, 57-55. Akron's lead is 2 as we've passed the midway point of the second half. Lyles with the ball on the outside for Akron. Off now and underneath the basket. And the reverse layup up and good. 59-55. Here comes three-pointer, Toledo, good. Kyler Vanderjagt with the 3. That's his second three-pointer. 1-point game, 59-58. Scott on the drive, missed it. Rebound, Toledo. Rockets can retake the lead. And Will on the layup. 60-59, Toledo back in front. With 8:45 to go. Foul called here on the Rockets. This will be a 1-1 for Akron. Off the inbound of 3, that's no good. Why was that not 1-1? That was 17 fouls. Sonny Wilson has the ball here for Toledo. Wilson on the spin. Wilson. And the shot counted and one. Vanderjagt just threw that ball up, got the basket to go, and we'll have an and one. Vanderjagt's free throw is good. 63-59. Toledo's on an 8-0 run themselves here. 8:15 to go. Here's the drive in the paint. Spin move. Right hand layup is good. Tavari Johnson now has 9. 63-61. Or excuse me, he has 11, excuse me. At the other end, driving layup too strong. Rebound pulled down by Akron. Mahaffey. Lyles inside. Count it, or yes, they do count it, and one. 7:45 remaining. We are all tied up at 63 apiece. Going down to the wire in the MAC title game. Can add another team to the NCAA tournament qualifiers, as Prairie View has just won the SWAC. They defeat Southern 72-66, so Prairie View takes the SWAC title. Here it is 63-63, Toledo and Akron, with 7:45 remaining. Akron will have a free throw when we come out of the timeout. Akron is 8 of 29 from three-point range. They only shot 5 three-pointers, though, in the second half. $7:45 remaining. Amani Lyles at the line for Akron to try to complete the three-point play. He missed it short. So we stay tied at 63. Wilson brings it up across the timeline. Now Sean Craig with it. And now the right-hand layup up and good for Toledo. Kyler Vanderjagt off the bench has 13. 65-63 Rockets. Jumper in the paint at the other end is no good. Rebound pulled down by Austin Parks. Toledo up 2 with the ball. 7 minutes remaining. Blyden Jumper in the paint. No, but he gets fouled. Blyden will be at the line to shoot 2. Leroy Blyden, 19 points tonight. First of 2 free throws, good. One more free throw on the way from Blyden. But now the officials are getting together discussing something. Chad Barlow, Alfred Smith, John Floyd, the officiating crew in this MAC championship game. They're over at the monitor looking at something. I have no idea what. Let's see here. Oh, they're reviewing to see if there needs to be a flagrant foul here to Leroy Blyden. He did put his arm up in the chin area of the defender. I think that's probably what they're looking at. Blyden getting an explanation here. And it was nothing, by the way, on that. There's no flagrant issue. 2 free throws are good. Toledo leads by 4, 67-63. 6:45 and counting. Tavari Johnson with the ball for Akron. Gives it off now, and a foul and a push from behind. Team foul number 9. Free throw good. Just the second made free throw in 7 free throw attempts for Akron tonight. Second one. It's good as well. 67-65. 6.5 to go. Blyden with the ball here, drawing a double team and gets turned over. At the other end, the layup ties it. And 1. Blyden commits the foul. Evan Mahaffey with the basket and the free throw here to put Akron back in front. No good. And the ball's loose on the floor. We've got a tie-up. Possession arrow will give it to Toledo. Akron now just 3 of 8 at the free throw line. Bringing it up across the timeline is Toledo. Here's Blyden. Great pass inside to Parks for the layup. Parks was all alone underneath the basket, and Sonny Wilson saw that and got the assist. 69-67. Driving at the other end, now almost a turnover for Akron. They are able to save the possession. In the corner, shot clock at 7 and knocked out of bounds by Toledo. 6 on the shot clock for Akron. Inbound pass comes in. Off balance 3. That's off the top of the backboard. Offensive rebound, and that hits the side of the backboard. He put up that 3 way before he needed to and didn't get a good look at it, and then Young's going to commit a foul for Akron. That's his third. And that is now 17 fouls on Akron, so it'll be 1-1 for Toledo. Toledo a chance to go back up 4. Blyden's at the line. First free throw, no good. He missed the front end of the 1-1. Akron with the rebound. Still a 2-point game. 5:20 to go. Reverse layup, no good. And then we have a foul on Akron on the rebound. This will be a 1-1 once again for Toledo. 5:19 to play. Austin Parks will shoot a 1-1. First free throw, good. Second one to put Toledo up 4. Got it. 71-67. And now a timeout is called. Toledo takes the timeout here, so both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. 5:19 to go. Can Toledo finish this off and snap their 46-year NCAA tournament drought? Coach Kowalczyk talking to one of the officials here. Coming out of the timeout. Akron brings it in out of the timeout. Tavari Johnson brings the ball up for the Zips. Here's a three in the corner. That's too strong. Offensive rebound, however, for Akron and a fresh 20. Johnson off for Scott for three. That's short. Rebound Toledo. That was Akron's 31st and 32nd three-point shots of the night. They've made 8. Sean Craig with the ball on the outside for Toledo. Off now to Blyden. Blyden finds Parks. Parks draws a double team, kicks it out. Three-point shot on the way is an air ball. And Akron comes down with the rebound, but out of bounds. It will be Toledo ball. 5 on the shot clock. The shot clock did not reset because it didn't hit the rim. Evan Mahaffey returns for Akron, replacing the other Mahaffey. Toledo brings it in. Shot clock didn't reset again. It's down to 2. Craig has to launch a 3. That hit the backboard only. Shot clock violation. I think Toledo looked like they had forgotten the shot clock did not reset on that previous shot attempt. 10th turnover for Toledo. Here comes Akron. Lyles with it on the outside. Now Tavari Johnson. Johnson pull up. Jumper's good. 71-69. 4 minutes to play. Here's the drive inside for Toledo. Tough shot, no good. Rebound, Lyles of Akron. Akron can tie or retake the lead this trip. Mahaffey. Now Scott. Scott passes off. Mahaffey spins. Mahaffey scores with the right hand to tie this game again at 71. Sonny Wilson with the dribble, spins inside, gives it off to Parks, who slams it in. And he was fouled. Parks will have a chance for a three-point play with 3:10 to go. 73-71. Toledo up 2 in the MAC championship game. Austin Parks heading to the line to try to complete the three-point play. Toledo's now put 4 in double figures tonight. Parks at the line here for Toledo. To extend the lead to 3. He got it. 74-71. 3 minutes to play. Corner three-pointer for the tie, and it's good. Bowen Hardman with his 4-3. 74 apiece. Wilson. Blyden gets it back to Wilson on the outside. Wilson looking to drive. Now spins his way in the paint. Stripped. Off Toledo, out of bounds. It's going to go to Akron. As that ball hit Wilson's knee before it went out of bounds. Now John Gross not happy now. Officials are going over to the monitor. Toledo's challenging this call. Remember, they challenged a call very early in this game and won it. So they got to retain their challenge, and now they're using it again here. The ball on the floor is Akron ball. Akron clearly knocked it out. The question is, did it hit Wilson of Toledo on the way out after Akron knocked the ball away? I'm not sure there's enough here to overturn what they called. Because I don't really ever see it hit the knee, but I don't know if you can tell really if it did or not. Here's another angle from behind the basket. I can't tell if it hits his knee or not. Always try to look for the trajectory of the ball. I didn't really see much movement on the ball there. And we're going to get the call here. And now there's a clock issue. There's 60 minutes showing on the clock. There it is, 2:28. And Toledo, for the second time in this game, does win the challenge. They are saying it did not hit off of Wilson's knee. I never did really see it hit the knee, but again, I couldn't for sure tell. That's why I thought they might stick with what was on the court, but the official saw otherwise. Parks' jumper is good. Austin Parks with 15. 76-74 Toledo. We approach 2 minutes to play. Timeout called by John Gross and Akron. Their next to last timeout. So they are down to 1 timeout. Toledo has 2 timeouts left. Mentioned Toledo's put 4 in double figures tonight. Akron has put 3 in double figures. Fantastic crowd on hand in Cleveland for this MAC championship game. Akron ball here. Oh, Tavari Johnson almost lost that out of bounds. 2 minutes to play. That would have been a deep 3 there. 6 to shoot. Akron's going to have to get a shot up here with 1 on the shot clock. Ball stripped. Toledo with the steal. The layup blocked. A great defensive play by Akron and Evan Mahaffey with the rejection. It will stay Toledo ball. Wow, look at Mahaffey come in from behind to block that shot. Runner inside the paint. That's short. Rebound Akron. Minute and a half to play. Scott slowing it down here. Tavari Johnson. Johnson in the paint. Johnson the dish off. 7 on the shot clock. Johnson reverses and ties it. 76 apiece. Timeout called by Toledo with 1:01 remaining. Holy cow. Akron won the lone regular season meeting, 91-81. Akron looks to win the MAC for the 4th time in the last 5 years. Toledo looks to break a 46-year NCAA tournament drought. Rockets will inbound. 20 on the shot clock. They get it in. Jumper, open 3, short. Toledo the offensive rebound and a fresh 20. Sonny Wilson with it on the outside. Off now to Blyden. Blyden with 10 to shoot, 40 on the game clock. Blyden drives. Blyden slips. Toledo keeps it alive. 2 to shoot. And now we're going to have a traveling violation. That's going to give the ball to Akron. Clock is still running, so they're going to have to look at that. Toledo called for the traveling violation. They're going to have to look at the clock because the clock continued to run after the call was made. When is the whistle blown? Right there. Should be about 33-6. It actually stopped momentarily, and then for whatever reason, the clock started back up again. So should have about 33.6 on the game clock. So Akron cannot quite run down for the last shot. Both teams have one timeout remaining. In case of a held ball, Akron does have the possession arrow. So it is. The clock is reset to 33.6. Akron, a chance for the lead. And they get it in to Scott. Again, there's about a 3.5 second difference. Shot clock, game clock. Game clock at 20, shot clock at 17. Scott still just dribbling at quarter court on the edge of the MAC logo. Down to 7 to shoot. 10 on the game clock. Scott still dribbling. Scott for 3. Good! With 6 seconds to go. Toledo has one timeout. With 4 seconds, they're going to bring it up the floor, not use it. Lyle's lost. 3 is no good. And Akron is headed back to the NCAA tournament. A three-pointer by Scott with 6 seconds left. The game-winning shot. Akron wins it 79-76. A heartbreaking loss for Toledo, as Akron comes back from 12 down at halftime to win it by 3 and take the MAC championship. Wow. Final stats in this one is, before I sign off for the evening, Akron shot 46%, 33 of 71 from the floor. They were 10 of 34 from three-point range, 34 three-point shots, 29%. Just 3 of 9 at the free throw line. That almost came back to hurt them. Toledo shot 28 of 56 for 50%, 10 of 24 from 3 at 42%. 10 of 13 at the free throw line for 77%. Toledo turned it over 11 times. Akron turned it over 8. Individual scoring in this one. Akron put 4 in double figures, couple 15-point scores. Amani Lyles and Tavari Johnson, 15 points. 12 apiece from Bowen Hardman and Shama Scott, including the game-winning three-pointer with 6 seconds to go. 8 apiece from Evan Mahaffey and Eric Mahaffey. 7 out of Sharon Young and 2 out of Zach Halligan. For Toledo, they put 4 in double figures, led by Leroy Blyden's 21 points. 13 apiece from Austin Parks and Kyler Vanderjagt. 10 out of Sean Craig. 7 apiece from Minor Strong and Sonny Wilson, and 5 out of Jalen Owinga to wrap up the scoring for Toledo. Excuse me, got a frog I couldn't clear. 79-76, Akron takes the MAC and is headed to the NCAA tournament, and they will find out tomorrow who they will draw in the NCAA tournament. Akron is going to be a very tough out, whoever it is that they play. If I'm a coach, I am not going to want to see Akron as my opponent. Akron heads to the NCAA tournament 29-5. Toledo 19-15. Will probably get some kind of postseason offer anyway. And hopefully Toledo will take whatever's given to them, because this is still a fun team too. Had it there for the taking, but just couldn't close it. That's going to wrap it up here on the live stream. Again, my name is John, Sportsmananza John on YouTube. If you like my content, really would appreciate a like and subscribe from you. Also on Kick tonight at Sports Kick John. I also do have some content on Twitch at Sport Guru John. We'll be back tomorrow. Don't know if I'm going to do a game in the afternoon, but I will be back just prior to the selection show going live. Going to go on jump on about 5:50 or so Eastern time, right before that selection show, and be with you most of the night. Be with you for the men's and women's selection shows at 6 and 8, and also be with you for the NIT selection show at 9:30 Eastern. Appreciate you joining me, everyone. Akron takes the MAC 79-76 over Toledo. Akron headed to the NCAA tournament. Talk to you tomorrow for the selection shows here on the live stream. Good night, everybody. God bless.